So, I want to talk about acknowledging whiteness and how we center whiteness and white women specifically in our lives. And I want to talk about this because I've had an opportunity over the last 2 weeks to read hundreds and hundreds of comments from Black women. And the comments fall in three categories. The first comment is what I'll call the amen corner. No need to say more. The second is well, I don't know why you're talking about this because I am totally unfamiliar with this and I really am not in part of this conversation. I'm kind of like a bystander, but I kind of wanted to be involved, but I don't really, know what's what. Then you have I don't know where you get that from because I'm not like that. And it's like, well, are you not really? And the thing that made me know that it's critical to talk about right at this time was literally just a TikTok that I saw of a Black woman showing a protective style for Valentine's Day. What are Black people protecting our hair from? We're protecting our hair from white people. From what? The disapproval of white people, from the disallowance of white people, from the unacceptance of white people, and because of the limited access based on what kind of hair we have, right? Our hair gives us limited access to different spaces that white people allow us into. So I talk about the 4 A's of why Black women seek out and often hold these mammy roles. And I talk about the epigenetics of that. And what it boils down to is we are going and looking for approval. We're trying to get access. We are seeking to be allowed to do something. And we're looking for acceptance. That goes back to when we were enslaved. We had to always pretend that everything is good and happy around the master because you couldn't cuss his ass out. You couldn't slit his throat real quick because you never knew what kind of Sambo coon was going to be like, oh, massa, Jethro got a knife under his bed and I found it. Like you never knew which one of those was coming up. So you always had to be skipping and grinning and smiling and cheesing like everything was okay. We never unlearned that behavior. And I don't give a shit what person on here says, oh, I don't center white people at all in my life. Then you didn't go to Black school. You didn't go to white school. You didn't go to school in America. You didn't grow up in America. That's number one. Number two, you never watched American television. Which is fine. Number 3, you did not get colonized on a white Bible. Number 4, right? So there's some reasons that maybe you are not. But if you grew up here, why are you wearing a protective style instead of wearing your hair just out? Because that's a white-centric standard that says you have to wear your hair a certain kind of way or you're not going to be able to have a certain kind of job. That is the whiteness in your life. What kind of school do your kids go to? Do your kids go to a Black school that's run by a Black principal and Black teachers? And do you live in a Black neighborhood? Did you buy your house from a Black realtor? Did you buy your car from a Black car dealership? Do you shop at a Black grocery store? Do you live in a Black neighborhood? Go to a Black tennis team, a Black-owned gym, Black nail salon, Black pharmacy? Then you are still in whiteness. Because you have to be. Because white people have all of the resources and all of the control and all of the power. Straight up. They even have the power to define human and civil rights and get to tell Black people we don't have any. And one of the things I'm so sick of debating with Black women is the fact that we have human rights. Show me them. Show me in any document that says it. Show me in any city or state in America where my human rights are observed. If Black people had human rights, I would not know George Floyd's name because he would not have happened. That wouldn't have happened if Black people had human rights. We wouldn't know Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Garner. Like, we wouldn't know any of them. If black people had human rights, why would James Baldwin say, hey, I don't care what white people say about racism, but they know one damn thing. They know they don't want to be black. So then why wouldn't you want to be black? Oh, because black people aren't human. Well, why are you worried about that? Well, because when they decide to put people back in chains, I know they only putting black people back in chains, and I don't have to worry about it. As long as I side with white, I'm going to be all right. Because black know they better get back. And brown, they just better be quiet and get the hell out of town. Like literally, black women, y'all know that you conform to whiteness in many, many ways. Do you live in some like community with only black people and y'all self-sustaining? Well, then you're still into whiteness. You watching Netflix and you ordering from Amazon. You're still into whiteness. So the first step in making any change, in doing anything, is to acknowledge the truth. And this is yet another hard truth. It's another hard truth. And the hard truth of the matter is that we have been shat on for 500 plus years. And they're still doing it because we are participating now, because it's like we've forgotten who we are and we refuse to wake up, and we allow other people who don't care about us to dictate who we are, to dictate what we do and how we do it. For what? FOH. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Nobody is going to get me to sign up for my own oppression. Nobody's going to get me to kiki, ka, he, and laugh at being oppressed. Nobody's going to get me to separate myself from other black people, whether they live in the backwoods of Appalachia or downtown Atlanta, Georgia, in a $5,000 high-rise apartment. I'm not going to turn my back on black people. However, black people who are complicit in their own oppression, thusly complicit in mine, they get shot. They get shot. So I'm hoping that those people stay away from my space so that they don't have to get shot in public, and they could just, dip off quietly with no fanfare, because that's how I really like it, because I don't like fanfare and I don't like a lot of attention. If it was up to me, I would never get on camera and say anything. If it was up to me, all I would do is talk and listen, but mostly listen, then read, then be quiet, then sleep, then meditate, and then talk. Talk would be on my last things to do. I don't want to talk. I just want to be quiet. And I talk so much inside of my mind that I don't need to talk out loud a lot. And I don't need to talk to anybody to feel wanted or needed or loved. Like, I know my daughter loves me. I know my dog loves me. I know I have some amazing friends that love me. Like, in real life, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to be adorned and adored, I just want to have what I need and the things I want. And the thing I need most of all is rest. And I need rest so I can heal from all of that fucking trauma. And black women, y'all know that I ain't lying when I say how hard it is to just exist in this world. But then if you're somebody that's accomplished with degrees and certifications and success and experience and expertise, they coming at you harder. And I've been said, when I started getting recruited to get a PhD, I got recruited to get a PhD. And this was years and years after I had my master's degree. I was like, how do these people even know I have a master's degree? But they know. And I was like, no, I don't need no more white man paperwork. What do I need it for? It's not going to make me get paid more out in the world. And if I were to go to academia, you get treated the same way you get treated in corporate, which is the same way you get treated in healthcare, which is the same way you get treated in nonprofit, which is the same way you get treated in government, which is the same way you get treated in STEM and everywhere else. So it doesn't make a difference. So I was like, what do I need to spend and waste my money for getting more paperwork for them? And so I was like, the hell with that. And I really lost all respect for degrees You know, when I seen so many stupid people with not even a fucking bachelor's degree making $60,000 and $70,000 more than me, and they had 15 years less experience. Huh? And their experience wasn't even a relevant experience, and my experience was. Huh? And then they get to be my boss? Oh, God. That happened to me my entire career. My entire career. And every now and then I ask one little question because there's a huge pay discrepancy, or because I need to take, a day off to go to a doctor's appointment because I have debilitating migraines or some kind of whatever. Everything is a thing. No, y'all, listen. We have a lot of recovery to do. It's not just me. We all have a lot of recovery that is due us. And that recovery is not going to happen until we rest, right? And I think a lot about us using that term, reclaim. Listen, we have to reclaim our power, right? And use it. But we haven't never gotten rest. So rest is revolutionary. And that's what I am focused on in my number one goal. And the rest is the thing that is the most critical for our well-being. And it is why our self-prioritization on our self-preservation is key. And that is why I'm going to keep on telling y'all that decentering white women is the way to go. And acknowledging how whiteness shows up in you, how it looks, and really sitting with it and starting to unpack that is your next step.